This Jeff. I'm on the west side. I'm trying to stream. I'm up and down on the stream. Okay. I'll let you go. I'm streaming right now. I'm trying to get a feed out. Bye. Okay, if you guys can hear the stream work, Kathy and I are in Perryton. We had a very large tornado set down on the northwest of the city. Multiple vortex tornado. Then it turned into a stovepipe tornado and went east-southeastward through the city of Perryton, and I'm on the northwest side of town here, and I'll try to see if you can see this. This is the lighter damage. This is where the tornado started, and this is the lighter damage. But right there's downtown, and just the other side of this damage here. Let me see if I can here. Let me walk this way. The damage is extreme. Multiple vortex tornado here on the western northwestern side. We filmed it. It went to a big, large stovepipe tornado. Went to a very violent tornado as it came in to Perryton. We filmed it. I'd call the damage here light to moderate on the northwest side. There's a multiple vortex. I had 5 individual cone vortexes. It was like an egg beater. Very intense multiple vortex tornado on the northwest side. This is a mobile home court. There's search and rescue going on all over the city of Perryton on the northwest side. And as the tornado went east-southeast, it turned into a very heavy, intense stovepipe, about a quarter mile wide. And then it got past the grain elevators, and then it went to probably a half mile wide. And I'm going to call it a strong tornado, probably EF2, possibly EF3, maybe higher. And as you go, here's a mobile home. A lot of it sheared off. It had a number of injuries. We dug a number of people out on the east side of Perryton. About 30 minutes ago, we dug 3 people out that were critically injured on the east side of Perryton, are buried in the rubble. We dug them out of their house. On the far east side, that we have a number of injuries, critical injuries, about 45 minutes ago on the east side of Perryton. But there's mass damage from downtown Perryton, northwest of downtown, and then tornado moved east-southeast. It was an extremely violent tornado. I can't emphasize this enough, how violent it was. This wasn't like a little F0, F1 that did a little bit of damage. It probably went to the roar and the debris, and the amount of the intensity of the tornado was extremely intense. I'm going to say it was probably EF3 or higher is my quick estimate in this area. I mean, again, it's got a lot of mobile homes in here. It doesn't take, you could have an F1 and have that kind of damage, but I can tell you the tornado was extremely violent, very intense. And as the tornado left the city on the southeast side, it was the amount of debris around the tornado was probably about 3/4 of a mile wide. The tornado was a half mile wide, and the tornado debris was about anywhere from 3/4 to about 3/4 of a mile wide. Debris ball, stovepipe, leave a city, and just there's no other words to describe it. But the video we were on the northwest side. I called 911 when I saw the debris. The first tornado touchdown, I was on the phone with 911 in the city of Perryton and told them to sound the sirens. They did. In about 5 seconds after I made the 911 call, I told them who it was, where I was, and I said the tornado's coming in the city. You got to sound the sirens now. They activated the sirens, and the sirens did go off. I heard the sirens go off. The call was 911, and the tornado was doing massive damage as it came into the city. And literally, the tornado touched down probably just about at 3/4 of a mile or half a mile to the northwest of Perryton, just west of here, just west of this mobile home courts, where the multiple vortex tornado came down. And then it tracked east-southeast through a heavy populated area, a lot of homes. And this area down here has very heavy damage. You look at all the houses flat and mobile homes totally destroyed. Downtown has heavy damage. I've got 2-story buildings that are like collapsed. I got 8 buildings that are, totally imploded. There's just massive damage. That's the only way to describe it. I call it heavy. I call it heavy damage, moderate to heavy damage through most of downtown Perryton and east-southeast through the mobile home courts in that area. Is where the heavy damage was. We had a number of injuries. I personally, me and another couple chasers, we got 2 people out of the rubble, critically injured. On the far east side of Perryton, the rubble homes flipped upside down, and they were trapped under their beds in their bedrooms, elderly people, and it took us about an hour to get them out. They were, it was a bad situation, is all I can tell you. And we had the constables that in this area, local police that responded. We were working with the local constable to find the people, and we hear people screaming from different mobile homes and houses, and we just went from mobile home to mobile home and house to house, and there were people literally coming out of the rubbles. We're walking down the street. That's the only way to describe it. But this is a mass casualty event. I don't know about the number of injuries or fatalities. I have not heard of any fatalities, and I don't have a number on the amount of injuries, but there are injuries, and there are a lot of injuries. I personally, again, I physically saw 3 critical injuries, and I don't know, I know there's probably more than that, but those are the ones I physically put my eyes on. It's like I can confirm 3 critical injuries on the east side of Perryton, and they were transported. We got them out of the mobile home. Took us about an hour to dig them out, and then us and about 5 other gentlemen that live here, we loaded them up in the constables' SUVs, and they were racing them to the hospital. And that's all I can tell you. We got emergency help coming in from help coming in from the Texas Oklahoma Panhandle. Diamond, Tipton, north of us here, and the Oklahoma Panhandle is coming down. The border, Pampa, and Canadian Fire is here. So we've had about 15 additional communities respond, and we've got mutual aid coming in from every direction in this area. But again, it's a mass casualty event, and search and rescue is still ongoing across the city. And but I'd say it's probably overall it's stabilizing, but there's just a shock of this intense, extremely dangerous tornado here in Perryton this evening. I will tell you that this is a really bad event. Tornadoes ongoing back to my southeast, back in northwest Oklahoma, back in the northeast Texas Panhandle. I understand down in Lawton and southeast Oklahoma has been other violent tornadoes, but I can tell you the damage up here in Perryton, this town, Perryton took a direct hit from a major tornado, is how I describe it, and again, it was about a half-mile wide, and I call the damage moderate to heavy. And on the southeast side of downtown, immediately downtown eastward, I caught it moderate to catastrophic damage. Whole neighborhoods are flattened. Again, these are mobile home neighborhoods. These aren't like 2023 type homes. These are a lot of mobile homes, type structures like you see right here, and that's what we have. A lot of damage across the city, and we have a lot of commercial buildings like this commercial building here. It's blown out, huh? That's your church. What's the name of your church here? Word of Life. What is it? Word of Life. Okay, so we got a church here blown out. That's a wood structure. It's a church, the pastor's telling me here, and so you can see the damage here on the northwest side. And it's this is where the tornado first started. It started in this field, this north storms. The tornadic storms are ongoing to my southeast. Then transport out of the city to the hospitals. This damage is kind of widespread all over the city, right? So people of Perryton and heed the warnings as these tornadic line enters northwest Oklahoma. These storms have been extremely wicked, very bad tornadoes. We're about to wrap it up here. We got drone video, and we got video of the tornado as about a block from the multiple vortex tornado as it went through the city. It's point blank range video of the city, of this extremely violent tornado going through the city of Perryton. It was really bad. That's all I can tell you. Really bad. Kathy's been helping with all of her stuff, getting messages out on Facebook and your phone. Has anybody replied to Kathy back there? Oh, okay. So, Dream Go here right now. This is the Perryton, Texas Panhandle, and we're appreciative of their help here. And if you heard the police earlier live when the tornado was coming through town and getting mutual aid up here, they needed it really bad. We're going to need a lot of help in the coming days and weeks to help build the city, because there's a lot of damage. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. We'll get back to it a little bit later. Thank you so much.